We have massive breaking news right now. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, has announced that the Qatari government will be building a military installation in the United States of America. Yes, I am serious. He was speaking alongside a Qatari official at the Pentagon this morning, where he announced that the Qatari Air Force will be building essentially a military installation at a United States military base in Idaho. And it comes after long-standing communication between the United States government and the Qatari government. Qatari troops and Qatari F-15 fighter jets will now be stationed on United States soil in an Air Force base in Idaho. He appeared alongside this Qatari official at the Pentagon, where he said, "I'm proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho." That is a real quote from the Secretary of Defense, and I want you to watch this stunning clip this morning.
No one other than President Trump could have achieved the peace that what we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza, and Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic peace. We look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
That's real. That's from the Pentagon. And while he is allowing a theoretical ally, not a full ally, because the United States and Qatar have had kind of an on-again, off-again relationship historically, to build a military installation in Idaho. There is a corruption aspect to this, but there's also a history-making aspect to this. And I want to break down both for you in this video. First, let's talk about the corruption aspect. Earlier this year, the Qatari government gifted a Boeing 747 airplane to Donald Trump and the Trump administration. The purpose of the plane will be to use as Air Force One for the president. It will be retrofitted and ready to go by the end of Donald Trump's term, likely sometime in 2027. At the time, there was significant concern, and there still remains significant concern, that foreign bribery laws may have been violated by Donald Trump and or this government by accepting the Qatari jet for use as Air Force One. Because Donald Trump is saying, well, this is a gift for himself, not a gift to the government. Typically, a president would not be able to accept such a gift. Alas, here we are. And here's the thing, if you don't recall, after use by Donald Trump, he intends on placing that Qatari Air Force jet, or that 747 Boeing jet, in his presidential library, which will be built in Miami, Florida. And so there are serious concerns over this quid pro quo that emerged earlier this year between the United States and the Qataris, between Donald Trump and this Middle Eastern government. And so he accepted the 747 Boeing jet, and many people thought, well, is this the end? Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, signed off on it, said it was fine, did not violate bribery laws. And people were wondering, well, what's the next shoe to drop? And we learned of it today. It looks as though, at least on its face, that in exchange for the 747 Boeing jet, the Trump administration is now allowing the Qatari government to house troops and military equipment in the United States, building this military installation in the United States. Now, I want to give you some historical context to foreign military bases on U.S. soil. There are no official independent foreign military bases in the United States. And this likely wouldn't be an independent foreign military base, because if you remember in that video that I showed earlier in this clip, essentially it's going to be part of the existing Air Force base that the United States has in Idaho. There are several foreign militaries that have permanent detachments on United States soil, specifically for training purposes. So this is not necessarily unprecedented, but it is unprecedented for the Qatari government to be doing this. So let's break down what we have right now. Right now, German forces have had a permanent presence at Fort Bliss since 1956 in Texas. for its air defense school. Some training has also moved to the Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. Essentially, it helps with missile practice and air defense training. British forces have had personnel present at multiple United States, including California, Nevada, and South Carolina. Singaporean forces have conducted flight training in the United States due to the greater amount of airspace compared to Singapore. And other nations also use U.S. facilities for various training, including the Dutch military at the Holloman Air Force Base for F-16 training. But I listed out Singapore, the Netherlands, Germany, the Brits. These are all close allies to the United States. You don't have the Saudis here in the United States, but you will now have the Qataris here in the United States. And they're going to be housing Qatari F-15 fighter jets alongside these pilots. And that is a very significant development because it would be unheard of, practically unheard of, for an American president to allow the Qatari government to build such a military installation in our nation. It's never been even thought of because of how unheard of it is. And here's the thing, I think what a lot of people aren't realizing. Donald Trump is actually going to enrage his base over this decision because his base is America first. He ran on this idea of America first, America only, essentially isolating himself and America from outside countries. And well, how can you say it is America first and allow the Qatari government to house troops and fighter jets in the United States in Idaho? It is not America first. And also within his MAGA base, you have folks like Laura Loomer who espouse racism and hate. And they're not going to be happy with this because specifically it's the Qataris, because it's a Middle Eastern country. Laura Loomer has been blasting the Trump administration for its close relationship with Qatar, and once again will likely come out in short order and say that this is unacceptable. And she won't be alone. It'll be folks to the right of him, to the left of him, to the center of him. Even likely members of Congress on Capitol Hill will come out and say that this is just simply unacceptable. Because while the United States does not allow independent foreign militaries to have independent bases, they sometimes work with other allied nations. And here it looks like they're going to be working with the Qataris, showing a deepening connection between the United States and this Middle Eastern country. And if you would have asked me, say, a month ago, even a year ago, that this was happening, I would have said you were crazy, because ultimately there is no justification to have a Qatari military base on American soil. So that's it right now. Like, comment, share, subscribe to support my work, and I'll have more updates for you soon. Stunning news this morning. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.